Coming up at 4:30, Kevin Stitt for America, a Twitter April Fool's joke announcing the governor's interest in running for president. However, Stitt's camp has yet to comment. Is there some facts to this fiction? Plus, many Edmond elections are set for tomorrow, including city mayor. Who's on the ballots, and where are you designated to vote? And a series of wildfires in northern Oklahoma have kicked off severe weather season. Will conditions improve? All that and more on this edition of UCentral News.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Eden Jones.
And I'm Brady Gray. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News at 4:30.
Over the weekend, you may or may not have noticed on social media posts surfacing announcing that Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt is planning on running for president in 2024. Many assuming it was an April Fool's joke, as it was posted on April 1st. No one knows who created the fake press release or who originally posted it to social media. Now, nothing has been confirmed or denied, but Stitt nor Carly Atchison, his communications director, have released a statement, and they actually have not responded to anyone's questions or tweets.
However, in actual presidential news, Governor Stitt did release a statement at a press conference about former President Trump's newest indictment.
Just like most Americans, when we start politicizing the justice system, I think it's a dangerous, dangerous precedent.
He went on to call the situation tit for tat and said that the government shouldn't be targeting candidates running for office. We'll keep you updated as that story develops, but for right now, UCentral's Emma Birch, our social media correspondent, joins us. About the Stitt running for president campaign, we have to reiterate again that it is just a joke as far as we know, but that did not keep social media from running with it, Emma.
Yes, it was a very heavily day on Twitter for Oklahomans. Like Brady just said, even though this is perceived as a joke from Governor Stitt, many went to Twitter and were not happy about it. As you can see on the screen, many hoped it was just a joke. However, some do hope he does run so they can, quote, leave Oklahoma. Some have gone as far as make a website in support of him to run so the state can get another governor. Guys, people have gone as far as make buttons, stickers, and even made Twitter campaigns for him to run in 2024. So it's going to be interesting to see if this boosts up his ego and he decides to run.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know when I saw it, I fell for it. I completely believed it. Sent it to our producer here, actually. So I was a little bit confused and wanted to definitely check if that was actually happening. But again, nothing was confirmed or denied. So
yeah, we have to keep reiterating that. But for now, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Thank you very much, Emma, for joining us.
Thank you, Emma. Now moving on to more local politics. In just one day's time, a series of candidates will face off in the April general election, where Edmond residents will select a mayor and Ward 1 and 2 council members. Current Mayor Daryl Davis, is running against opponent Brian Shellham. Barry Moore and Judy Raw are facing off for the Ward 2 seat, and Ashley Bradley and Tom Robbins are competing for the Ward 1 seat.
The Edmond Chamber of Commerce actually has a page that lists each candidate's website. It also has a Q&A page from each candidate, running as a way to further familiarize yourself with how each candidate stands on certain issues. But Oklahomans hoping to vote in the election can request a voter application from oklahoma.gov. And in housing news, we all know how hot of a topic housing is in Edmond. Well, the city is noticing, and they're hosting a series of pop-up events to encourage public input on housing challenges. A new housing assessment will take place at this month's Heard on Heard, April 15th. While enjoying festivities, the public is encouraged to stop by the City of Edmond tent and participate in a quick interactive exercise to share their thoughts on Edmond's housing types and challenges. For more information, visit edmondok.gov/housing assessment.
An Oklahoma City animal welfare shelter announced a respiratory infection among its 400-plus animals, with only dogs being affected. The shelter does not know the exact number of dogs that have been affected. All dogs in the shelter, regardless of their symptoms, are currently being treated with antibiotics, and pet adoptions are only available for animals that are currently in foster homes. Dogs at the shelter will not be available for adoption during this closure. However, lost pets at the shelter can still be reclaimed by their owners. Anyone looking for a lost pet can go to okc.gov/animal welfare. The shelter is expected to reopen this Thursday, and we will keep you updated as this story develops.
And there were some pretty intense wildfires here in the Edmond area last weekend that affected many Friday evening commuters. The Oklahoma Forestry Service reports that the Simpson Road wildfire in Logan County burned 3,392 acres as of this morning, and only 30% of it are contained at the moment. The fire caused traffic delays across the area and affected a few UCO students and staff. We spoke to one professor about her commute home on Friday.
It's a nightmare on Elm Street, and there's no Elm Street nearby. But I will tell you, it took about 2.5 hours for me to get back home.
The Wildfires weren't the only severe weather this weekend. Across the eastern heartland and some of the East Coast states, tornadoes struck, causing intense damages. Rural communities in Arkansas, Kentucky, and Indiana, Delaware, and New Jersey were among them. The winds were strong enough to level communities and even tear up turf from a football field. Officials say the storm left 32 people dead, dozens more injured, and communities really in ruin.
And in Oklahoma weather, I'd say Edmond, today was actually a beautiful day. One of the days that I actually didn't have to pack a jacket for once. Super pretty outside.
It's the first look at warm weather so far this year. Let's kick it to Destiny Pittman to see what conditions will be like going forward. Destiny?
Good evening, Broncos. So as we know, there were some fires across Oklahoma, and we're going to be under another fire watch this week. So these are just some tips to stay safe in case we do have some more fires later this week. So first, make plans to escape in the event of a fire before it happens. It's always better to be safe than sorry. So just make sure you know where you're going to go and have a shelter where you can be safe. Next, make sure to have any of your important documents or items that you really need with you. Make sure you have those in a place that you can easily access. If it's in your house, you can just grab it and go if there's a fire. Next, know your risk level. If you are in an area that's surrounded by trees or dry crops like wheat, you're in a higher risk level. If a fire starts there, it's more likely to spread with the high winds and the ground being very dry. So just know how high of a level of risk you're at if there is going to be a fire. Lastly, just know your surroundings. Just know, keep an eye out. See if you see smoke, avoid it. Just keep yourself safe. There are some burn bans in Oklahoma today. So as you see up in Kingfisher, there is the closest one to us. So in Oklahoma and the Edmond area, we are safe currently. And I'm just going to move on to today's current conditions. So outside today, it was a nice spring day. It finally feels like spring is out. It was 85 degrees out and it was very sunny, so it felt very warm out. It was a perfect day to go outside, go for a walk. It wasn't too windy either. The wind was blowing southwest at 18 miles per hour, and then it also wasn't that humid either. The humidity rate was 21%, so it felt pretty nice out today, and it felt like it was 80 to 82 degrees out. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Destiny. And tomorrow, UCO is hosting an unforgettable experience for admitted students. From 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., the UCO Bronco Premiere will give admitted students a glimpse at student life and showcase the academic programs offered here. Student advisors shared what attendees can expect.
They generally have already had a campus tour, and they get the opportunity to come and explore campus even further. We anticipate over 200 students plus their families. We're expecting a packed out Constitution Hall, and we are really excited about it.
This event will give newly admitted students a chance to connect with faculty, staff, and other prospective students. To learn more, visit uco.edu/admissions.
And UCO recently announced the students who were named to the President's Honor Roll and Dean's List for the fall 2022 semester. 1,510 students achieved a 4.0 GPA, rewarding them the President's Honor Roll, and 1,469 students achieved a 3.5 GPA or higher and were named to the Dean's List. Congratulations to all the recipients. A complete list of the honorees can be found on uco.edu.
And on the other end of the spectrum, many students are struggling to keep up with schoolwork, especially towards the end of the semester. The Bronco Education and Learning Lab, also known as Bell, offers tutoring on a variety of subjects like English, science, math, and statistics. Bell offers one-on-one scheduled tutoring in writing for all students in lower levels of math and science. Bell also offers 24/7 access to online tutoring with 10 free hours of online tutoring per semester. To schedule an appointment with Bell, visit uco.edu/schedule an appointment.
And in other campus news, the Native American Student Association held their 50th annual powwow on Saturday. UCentral reporter Jules Black has more on the story. You can stay updated with the Native American Student Association and their upcoming events on Instagram at UCONASA. And when we come back, we're going to have our full weather look with Destiny. You guys stay tuned.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Welcome back, Broncos. As we felt outside, today's been a very nice, warm spring day. It was in the high 80s, so it was the perfect day to be outside. Let's look across the state to see how, what the weather is across the state. So we'll start down in Idabel. So if we look down in Idabel, it's about 84 degrees there currently. And then in Ardmore and McAllister, it's both 87 degrees there. And then in the OKC and Edmond area, like I said earlier, it's going to be about 85 degrees. It's supposed to be that until this evening. Even this evening is going to be pretty warm out. So it's going to be the perfect night to be outside and out and about. And then up in Tulsa, it is also currently 85 degrees. And then Miami is 84 and Ponca City is 86. And then as we move over down near Eden, it is 82 degrees, and then up in Woodward it is 81. And then moving on, Clinton is about 88 degrees. And then if we look down in Altus, it is very warm there. It's the low 90s. It's 93 degrees out. So they're definitely feeling that warm spring weather out there, even a little bit of summer weather. And then if we look up in Guyman is the coolest part of the state tonight, but it is still pretty warm out. It's 75 there. So we're just going to move on to our 7-day forecast. So as you look, it is going to be very sunny this week. It's going to be very nice out, and the weather is also going to be pretty warm. So we'll start with today. So today, the high was 86, but it was about 85 most of the day. And then tomorrow is going to be another nice and warm day. It's going to be 84 degrees. So we're definitely going to be starting this week off on a warmer note. And then moving on to Wednesday, the temperature will drop a little. It's still going to be at about 59, 60 degrees. So it's still going to be that spring weather, just not as warm as today. And then moving back on, Thursday and Friday are both going to be the 60s. It's going to be 63 on Thursday and then 67 on Friday. And then moving on to this weekend. So as you see this weekend, it is going to be sunny on Saturday as well. It's going to be about 70 degrees out. So if you want to do anything this weekend, Saturday is going to be the day to do it because Sunday there is a chance of some rain. And there's about 20% chance of rain on Friday or Sunday, my bad. But still going to be pretty warm out. It's going to be 78 degrees. And then next week is also going to be pretty warm. So as we can see, that warm spring weather is definitely coming in, and it looks like we might finally have that cooler weather behind us. I know I'm excited, and I'm probably going to make some plans to be out and about this weekend. Do you guys have any plans for this warm weather this weekend?
I was actually just telling my friends, I was asking them, I was like, I want to go to like a park and just like walk around and maybe go for a jog. I don't know. This warm weather is too good to not do something outside for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. Easter weekend coming up. That spring weather's finally hitting. However, like you said, Destiny, it's going to kind of stay this warm going into next week.
Yes, the next week is also going to be in about the high 70s, low 80s. So it's going to be very similar to how today felt. So it's going to be pretty warm out.
That's perfect.
Enjoy it while it lasts because the brutal Oklahoma summer is right around the corner.
It's creeping up for sure. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Destiny. But coming up in social media, people are supporting a TikTok ban.
And iPhone is releasing some new emojis. What are the new icons? Emma Birch has this and more after the break.
Back and change it all. I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world. Told you she's super smart. If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Emma Birch, and here's your social media update. Have you experienced the recent technology problems on campus? Well, you're not the only one. UCentral's Killian Parsons has more on how you can tackle these IT problems.
It seems everyone at one point or another has experienced an issue with UCO's computers. Crashes, network errors, and slow speeds seem to be commonplace. With semester deadlines piling up, some UCO students are expressing frustration.
So one thing that's been happening a lot is that my Wi-Fi connection will just drop sometimes. Using the Macs on the, down in the mass communications building, that can be really slow sometimes. I've also lost some of my progress on my homework assignments sometimes. It's happened twice, and it was on pretty big projects, and I'd rather that not happen again. So I really wish there was a better solution to this.
For students in search of a better solution, you can find it online at servicedesk.uco.edu. Here, students can find a multitude of options to help with any technological issues. Options such as a live chat feature, in-person assistance, and even free software. From UCentral News, I'm Killian Parsons.
And even with the backing from Americans of not banning TikTok, there are some in the country who think it's not a bad idea.
TikTok is designed to attract our impressionable youth, and groomers and predators know this and are using it.
In a bipartisan manner, I think it's going to happen, and I think it should happen, and that'll resolve
a new research survey shows half of Americans support a government ban on TikTok. Only 22% oppose a ban, and the rest are unsure. Results from the survey say the younger you are, the most likely you are to oppose a ban. This makes sense given how popular the video sharing app is with teens and young adults. People who know about TikTok's connection to China are more likely to support a ban. The survey found 64% of Americans know a Chinese company owns the app. Also, Republicans are more likely to support a ban than Democrats. U.S. Representative and Trump supporter Marjorie Taylor Greene posted this tweet a few days ago saying she will, quote, "will be going to New York on Tuesday." This tweet, of course, is in reference to President Donald Trump indicted and processed on Tuesday in New York for charges of hush money. The only question now is how many supporters will be at the jail on Tuesday. We will keep you updated throughout the day tomorrow for more on that. And if you have an iPhone, you might notice some new emojis are coming to your phone. Apple has added 21 new emojis on its latest iOS update. Here are just a few: a jellyfish, new colored hearts, and a hair pick. This totals the number of emojis to more than 3,600. For most of us, a few different laughing, crying, and 3,599 others you never use. Eden, I know that I only use the laughing, crying emoji most of the time, so what's your favorite emoji?
Oh my gosh, I actually just pulled up my 4 most recent emojis. I like the one with the tongue that's like, I don't want to do the face because that's cringy. I like the one with the tongue, I like the white heart, and the little monkey that does this. Those are my favorites. But
yeah, no, I don't know if I'm going to use the new emojis because I don't use emojis at all. So
no, yeah.
Who knows? We'll see.
I liked the moose one though. It's kind of cute.
It is different.
Thank you so much, Emma. The women's national championship was last night, and the men's game is tonight. And the UCO hockey team will have players and coaches representing their countries in the Hockey World Cup. More with Jaden Ford. That's next.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
This way so I got it.
Left or to right?
To my right. Perfect.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Jaden Ford, and this is your Monday Sports Update. Last night, history was made, and the LSU girls took home the NCAA National Championship in high fashion. The first half was mostly back and forth as Iowa's Caitlin Clark and LSU's Jasmine Carson shared buckets until a dominant second half by Tigers. They led them to their first NCAA National Championship. Clark got into foul trouble early for the Hawkeyes, causing her to play less aggressively, ultimately leading to the Tigers' 102-85 victory. And even with LSU's huge win yesterday, the only thing talked about was what happened after. After the game, LSU's guard Angel Reese gave star forward Iowa Caitlin Clark the "you can't see me" sign after winning. And here's social media expert Emma Birch giving us insight on the Twitter response from the incident. Emma?
Yeah, that's right, Jaden. Twitter got heated last night about the mocking. Many went to Twitter in disgust of Reese mocking Clark after her outstanding season. There are some, however, who said it was only fair that Reese did this because Clark has done it to other games in the past. Both names reached all the way to number 2 on Twitter. Now, Jaden, I just have a couple questions. Do you think that just because they are women and that Reese did that it's kind of a double standard that guys can do it after a game, but girls can't?
Yeah, yes, Emma, I think it's kind of exactly that. You know, in sports, and when you lose, you don't. So I don't think it's a big deal. Maybe the coach should step in and say a little bit of something. But other than that, I think Reese and Caitlin Clark are just having a great time playing basketball.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So moving on we're going to move on to the men's basketball championship, which is tonight. The San Diego State University Aztecs are up against the University of Kentucky Huskies for the national title. The Huskies may be the heavy favorite to win it all, but the big game caps a March Madness feud with upsets and unpredictability. The opposing teams will meet in Houston at the NRG Stadium tonight, tipping off at 8:20 here locally on CBS. And moving on to the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder were in action last night against the Phoenix Suns, and a familiar face was in town. Former player Kevin Durant returned to Oklahoma City, and the fans did not give him a warm welcome. During the game, Durant touched the ball, and he was instantly booed. The Thunder lost to the Suns 128-118. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had another fantastic game, but it was not enough to spoil Durant's return. The Thunder are now 38-41 and are still fighting for a play-in spot. The Thunder are back in action tonight against the Golden State, fighting to stay alive. You can catch that game on Bally Sports at 9 p.m. And moving on to hockey, the head coach Michael Rivera and 3 University of Central Oklahoma hockey players have been selected to represent the respective countries for the World Cup of University Hockey in Carter, Romania, April 14th through the 19th. This past season on the ice was very successful as the Broncos captured their second straight title and reached the quarterfinals before losing 4-1 to Adrian College. Central finished the season 29-9 and 19-1 in conference play. The number 28 Lady Broncos tennis team lost a close one 4-3 to number 44 ranked Nebraska Kearney. The Broncos are definitely leading the match until the Lopers scored unanswered points, giving them the lead in the best of the Broncos. Central did get the best of UNK, winning 4-3 at the Indoor National Championships. UCO now 7-7 overall and 2-2 in the MIAA will return home to face Washburn and Northwest Missouri next weekend in Edmond. And moving on to rowing, Central Oklahoma's rowing team won big over the weekend, picking up multiple first-place finishes at the Florida Intercollegiate Rowing Championships at Nathan Ben Anderson Park. Central ranked number 6 had a great showing, winning first in the both varsity 8, led by Sydney Large, and the varsity 4, led by Emily Overholt. UCO held up well against the competition, considering many of these teams competing in the race were ranked top 10 in the country. The Broncos will take a weekend off before heading to Tennessee for the Southern Intercollegiate Championships. That is all I have today for sports. Brady, are you going to watch the game tonight for the men's? Who you got?
Absolutely. I want to see San Diego State win it for sure. I'm curious who you have, though, because UConn has been really dominant without people really noticing so far in the March Madness.
Yeah. UConn's similar to Kansas last year, won the conference, won big, had 4 great players. I'm sure their 5th one's just as good. I think I got UConn. However, I want the Aztecs to complete the Cinderella story.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. This has been one of the best March Madness in recent history.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jaden.
Yeah, no problem.
Stay tuned. We've got our last look at weather. Don't go anywhere.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back, everyone. Over the break, there actually was some weather breaking news. So Oklahoma County is currently under a red flag burn ban, which means that we're at high level for there to be fire weather. So that just means you need to be aware of your surroundings. And then if you're someone who smokes, just make sure you aren't throwing cigarettes on the ground, because that can cause fires and they can spread. And then also that means we are under a burn ban, so you aren't allowed to burn anything outside. These are going to be the conditions for tonight, though. So tonight it's going to be pretty warm out. It's going to be about 65 degrees. This is one of the warmer nights we've seen in a while. It's going to be a little windy. The winds are going to be blowing south at 14 to 20 miles per hour, but there are also going to be gusts of winds up to 30 miles per hour. Just make sure you're being safe. And then it isn't going to be too humid either, and there is no chance of rain for tonight. So then moving on to our headlines, just make sure that you're aware that we're under a fire burn, and then it's going to be very windy this week, and that's why we're under that fire ban burn. And that's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Destiny. That's all the time that we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Eden Jones.
I'm Brady Gray. Have a good evening, Edmond.